Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome back to another video. Thanks so much for tuning in. If you notice the background here, this wall of pictures, this is a feature wall that used to be in my house, but I did a complete makeover of this wall, and if you want to see how I changed it, then please keep watching. So here's the wall with all the pictures removed. When I put those pictures up, I actually used crazy glue at the time, and it was a great addition to the house. It was a nice little area to just look at all the memories, but it needed to go. So I took everything down, and here's what I'm left with. What I did was go back and scrape off all that old glue, give it a very nice clean. This process took a good long while, but it was very well worth it to get a nice smooth wall for painting. So here a lot of the paint ended up getting chipped off, so of course I had to go back and fill in all these little patches here. So I'm using this spackling. It goes on pink and it dries white. And once I did all the affected areas, I went back and sanded everything after it dried. Just gave this a nice smooth texture on the wall. And here I'm just using a primer. And I think it's a KILZ primer. It just blocks stains and helps everything to get nicely covered. After I did this primer, I ended up going back and painting it over with paint from Home Depot by Behr called Bit of Sugar. And I didn't show that process because it's pretty much just another white. It's a tinted white, but you'll see that it kind of looks just like what I'm doing here. So I'm just showing how I did the primer, but the next step was to do one full coat of the Bit of Sugar colored paint. I got these strips of wood because I'm going to make a board and batten wall right here. And these were only about $7 and some change each, so it was about $21 for the three. And I'm going to create a board and batten, so I'm going to have one long beam going this way, and then I'm going to have probably 3 beams here, and then the wall kind of extends over to this little section here. So I'm going to put another beam going this way here, and then one going down. I'm going to have a darker color on the top, and then I'm going to have white on the bottom. So the first thing I did was to measure out exactly how much I would need to create this first board. And it ended up being a little more than 79 inches, I think. So I made the mark here on the wood, and then I took it to the cutter to cut it. But in the meantime, I needed to know how high I needed the board and batten wall to be. So I'm just using this wall plate for this outlet cover as my guide to see how high I needed it. And I'm making the provisions for the first board, and then this will be the full height of everything. And I think it ended up being 40 inches from that bottom little beam. So here I'm making the cuts, and I'm checking for where the studs are and marking the wall, and then marking the height of everything here. I'm just putting a mark at either end of the wall, and I'm using this Power Grab by Loctite to glue everything in place, lining it up with those dots on either end, and then using this level to make sure everything is straight. And then I'm doing my best to nail right into those studs, and I think I'm nailed in other places too, just to make sure everything was nicely adhered to the wall. And this is how it looks so far. Now I'm just going to get started with those boards. So I'm measuring how high everything needs to be and then gluing that on. And I used this smaller stick as a marker for where it needed to go, and then I just knocked it down so I can place the board that I needed, or this is technically the batten now. So I'm using the level to make it straight and then adding those extra nails. And I'm doing the same to this side here and then one over here. So we're going to have a total of 3. And I'm just repeating those same steps using that smaller board as my indicator. And here's that progress. And then I'm doing the same to that smaller edge. And the last step was to add some caulking in here to seal in those cracks. So I'm just adding it in and then I'm smoothing it out with my finger. Now I'm going ahead and adding that dark colored paint. I'm not exactly sure what color this is. I'll try to add the color name below in case anyone's interested. It's just a very dark gray. And one of our doorbells is on this wall, so I just went ahead and painted it with the same dark gray. And then I removed the tape and put the wall back together. Added the cover, the thermometer cover, this little piece of decor, and then I add a little floral item at the top on the doorbell. And this is what the wall looks like when it was all complete. These are the frames that I recently DIY'd, as well as the artwork and the belt shelf. Those videos will be linked below in case you're interested in how I put those together. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.